Man, it's been a long time since I've actually uploaded a video like this. Now, there's two reasons. One, I am finishing up a large video, and the second reason is right behind me. Come here, Arrow. Where are you? Come here. Oh, look at this guy. He has been a handful. His name is Arrow. Look at that. And yeah, he's been soaking up pretty much all of my time, so I have not been able to even get away from him. As you can tell right now, he's super curious, and he's got a lot of energy despite him looking nice and calm right now. He's a little devil. Yeah. Okay, let's go out there. Go out there. Whew. So today, you obviously know what I'm going to be talking about. I got my hands on the a6400, and I got it with the 16 to 50 millimeter kit lens. I will show you that camera in just a second, as soon as I get rid of the devil. Yeah, he's a handful. All right, so this is it. It is the Sony a6400. Now, I wouldn't call this a controversial camera, but I know that there has been a lot of criticism about the camera, particularly because it doesn't have in-body image stabilization, which I use a Sony a7S II for my work, and the in-body image stabilization is a lifesaver. I actually just did a shoot last night where we're in a crowded bar situation, and it was absolutely necessary to have that in-body image stabilization. So it is very helpful, but that's not why I got this camera. This camera, I'm going to be using it for other purposes, and also it's just a great alternative to some of the other more expensive cameras that may cost, you know, $500 or $600 more for even just like the base models. So what I'm going to be doing here is just opening up the package, basically showing you a few of the buttons on the outside, what it looks like, and in the near future, I'm going to be making videos showing all of the options in the menu, the functions, and actually this weekend I'm going to the San Diego Zoo to use this along with hopefully a Sony 24 to 105 f4 with this camera to show you how well the autofocus works and just to get some general all-around footage. So without further ado, let's open the box. Okay, so obviously this is the box, pretty unassuming. It's basically the same kind of box that has been used for every Sony camera for the last several years now. But you know, nothing that special on the outside, just a few little you know, informational pieces on the outside. Now, that's pretty cool. The 4K HDR, which you know, I am actually surprised a camera like this can do that, but yeah, let's just open it up, check out what's inside. It's not going to be super exciting, but I'm excited because I want to check it out. So, all the information manuals. Actually, I don't even think that there's really that much information here. But paper, I'm never even going to read this. And then, of course, you have all of your little goodies. Just a simple USB adapter for the wall. A USB cable. Of course, the Sony strap, and this one, I can't tell if it's a different type of strap. It's not like the typical rubbery leather that I've seen on some of my older Sony straps, but this looks really nice. It's kind of almost like a scuba diver suit material on the outside. Not as squishy as a scuba diver material, but it's kind of got a nice feel to it. I might actually use that. And of course, one of the standard Sony batteries. This is not one of the newer Sony batteries. This is kind of the older ones that don't have as good of a battery life, which people have a genuinely justified complaint that Sony isn't putting their brand new batteries in this. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't do that. However, I'm happy about that because I have about a dozen of these kind of batteries. So to have the a6400 use these exact type of batteries, that's good for me. So I'm not going to complain. And then, you know, a little eye cup. I may use this, I may not. I'm not really sure if I'll use it, but That's very nice. But this is what you guys came here to see, the a6400. Now, ta-da, it's nothing special. This is basically the same exact body size and shape as the a6300. Let me compare it real quick. Yeah, it looks about exactly the same. Now, the one thing that everybody has been talking about with this camera that I think has been received pretty well is the screen on the back. Now, I'm kind of looking at this in a funky manner, but if you can see that, it flips up all the way like that. Now, I'm kind of a fan of the articulated screens that flip out to the side like that, but this is what Sony has been doing. This is the Sony way of doing it. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm also not going to be using this camera for vlogging. I'm going to be using this for other purposes. Now, anything else unique on the outside? Doesn't look like it. And you'll notice I got the 16 to 50 millimeter kit lens. And a lot of people are hate on this lens, but I'm actually a massive, massive fan. I have an entire video about this lens, and you'll see that I'm a total fanboy of this lens. So yeah, nothing too special about this camera in terms of what it can do on the outside, or what it looks like on the outside, but what it has on the inside is kind of the special part. And I'm going to be talking about that just briefly here. And in future videos, I'm actually going to be exploring some of the features of this camera to show you what it can do. And actually tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing this on an 8 to 9 hour shoot. So I'll also have a little bit of information about what this camera can do in terms of that. So obviously I'm not a vlogger, so the flip up screen isn't the reason I bought this camera at all. It's a pretty cool little addition, but outside of maybe using it for these YouTube videos, I don't really have any use for it. And I've got a gigantic monitor over there to view everything that's going on that camera anyways. But there's actually a few features about this camera that I'm really excited to explore, and I'm actually going to be testing it out this week. And I'll be making future videos about this camera specifically because not only am I excited to use it for myself, but this is actually like one of the first times I've ever got a camera like on release date. So I figured it's something that a lot of people out there might be interested in, just like I am. But the main thing that I'm interested in this camera for is the fact that it can record for longer than a half hour. Now, if you're unaware of this, a lot of DSLRs out there, mirrorless cameras, the Achilles heel of all of them has been the fact they can only record for 29, 30 minutes at a time. And it's my understanding it's something to do with the European Union and taxes or something like that. But yeah, they have been unable to do that. But this one is the first camera from the manufacturer that can record for longer periods of time internally. Of course, Canon has had Magic Lantern, where it's kind of like an unofficial hack where you can record for longer periods of time, a lot of other cool features. And then, of course, you could go out and buy an Atomos external recorder, or some other brand external recorder. But this one can do it internally, which for a lot of stuff that I like to do, this would be fantastic. Now, two other features that it can do is it does the HDR 4K recording, which I don't even have an HDR screen, but it's cool that it can actually do that. Now, one other thing that I'm excited about is the animal eye autofocus. Now, obviously, I haven't even turned this thing on yet, so I don't know how well it works, but it's my understanding that it came loaded with the animal eye autofocus. And obviously, I just got a dog, so that's a really cool thing for me to have. The autofocus on that one works great, but I'm really excited about this one because it's gonna help me with me and my doggy. But last thing, I said it was only 2 more things, but it's actually 3 more things. The third and final thing that I'm really excited about this camera is the time-lapse function. Now, of course, you can go out and buy, an external device to do the time lapses, the intervalometer, but this one actually has one built in and actually has a lot of cool functions in it where you can actually say how many photos you want, and it kind of does the calculations based on how far apart each one of the photos is, how many photos you're going to be taking, and it'll tell you how long you need to record or how long the camera is going to sit there for taking photos. So that's another cool thing that I'm actually really excited about this. I've never really been into time lapses, not because I'm not interested in doing it, but I've just never had the gear to be able to do it. Now, obviously, there's a lot more fancy gear you can get to do time lapses, but this being, you know, just under $1,000 and having all of these different features is really exciting for me. And time lapses may be something that I'll end up getting into because it can do it. And just a general statement about Sony is I'm actually really happy that they introduced this camera. Now, it's not a groundbreaking camera by any means, but Sony is listening to what people are asking for. People asked for articulated screen, they gave them an articulated screen. People wanted the internal intervalometer, they gave them the internal intervalometer. People wanted unlimited recording time, they gave them unlimited recording time. So Sony is listening, and this camera, while it's not perfect by any means, they have shown that they're actually working on their cameras and they're listening to what people are wanting. So, you know, obviously this is no review for the camera, I haven't even turned it on, but I'm really excited about not only this, but I think this is a great example of where Sony is going to be going in the future, and we'll have to see what they've got coming out. So keep your eye out for future videos about this camera if you're interested in this camera at all, because I'm going to be trying to go through this camera over the next few days. Like I said, over the weekend, I'm going to be going to the San Diego Zoo and kind of testing it out. So yeah, in the near future, I'm going to be coming out with more videos about this camera specifically, and hopefully you are interested. If you are, let me know down below. If you're not, let me know down below too, because maybe I can just stop doing these kind of videos. But one other update, if you're one of the 1,000 people out there that care enough about my channel to have subscribed, I am actually going to be coming out with a massive video in the future. Now, that is one of the things that's been taking me a very, very long time to do, because not only is it a gigantic video, and when I say gigantic, I mean this is like 10 hours plus of informational content about photography. And it's been just taking a long time, especially with my new dog. It's been very, very time consuming. So keep a lookout for that in the future as well. But yeah, I will see you next time, and thank you for watching the entire video.